When your cat blinks slowly while looking at you, do you actually know what that means? Yes, it looks sweet, like they're relaxed, maybe even sleepy, but behind that simple action, there's something deeper that most people miss. It's one of the most intimate things your cat can do. And if you ignore it or respond the wrong way, which most owners do, you might be missing a moment of trust your cat is offering you. Let's start with what that slow blink really means. Have you ever caught your cat staring at you and then slowly closing their eyes, almost like they're melting into the moment? Most people think it just means the cat is tired or calm or about to nap. But here's what's actually happening. Your cat is making a conscious choice to break eye contact in the safest way possible. In the animal world, direct eye contact is intense. It can signal threat, dominance, even aggression. Predators stare. Prey stays alert. So when your cat looks at you and then slowly blinks, they're saying, "I trust you enough to look away." Think about that for a second. They're lowering their guard in front of you, not because they have to, but because they choose to. And by the way, if your cat ever stares at you without blinking and then suddenly walks away, don't brush it off. We'll get to what that really means at the end, and it's something most owners wish they'd understood sooner. Because this isn't random behavior, it's communication. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. 2. Scientists call it a cat smile. Have you ever wondered, what if your cat is actually trying to smile at you? It sounds human, maybe even a little silly, but here's what's actually happening. A 2020 study from the University of Sussex found that cats use slow blinking as a form of positive social communication. When humans slow blinked back at cats, the cats were more likely to approach and engage. But here's what most people don't realize. This isn't just mimicry, it's emotional signaling. Researchers observed that cats who received slow blinks back showed signs of reduced stress, lower tension, more willingness to connect, which means your response literally changes how safe your cat feels in their body. Think about that for a second. Your cat isn't just blinking, they're opening a conversation. And when you respond the same way, soft eyes, slow blink, you're telling them, "I understand you." That's not training, that's bonding. And here's where it gets even more powerful. This behavior only shows up when your cat feels safe enough to express it, which means every slow blink is earned. Have you noticed your cat blinking at you in specific places? On the couch, in bed, during quiet moments? Most people assume it's just because the cat is relaxed in that environment. But here's what's actually happening. Cats don't just mark territory with scent, they also mark it with behavior. Behavioral scientists have observed that cats repeat affiliative signals like blinking, rubbing, and soft eye contact in spaces and around beings they consider emotionally secure. So when your cat looks at you and blinks, they're not just reacting to the moment, they're reinforcing a connection. It's like they're saying, "You belong in my safe space." Think about that for a second. Out of everything in their environment, every smell, every sound, every movement, they're choosing you to be part of what feels safe. And that changes how they move around you, how they rest near you, how they exist with you. What makes this even more meaningful is that cats are naturally cautious creatures. Their survival depends on reading threats correctly. So when they assign you to their safe territory, it's not casual. It's deliberate. And it's rare. And hey, if this makes sense to you, hit like and subscribe. It helps us reach more cat lovers who actually want to understand what their cat is really saying. Have you ever seen a kitten blink slowly at its mother? It's subtle, easy to miss. Most people don't connect that behavior to what adult cats do with humans. But here's what's actually happening. In early development, kittens learn that relaxed eye signals mean safety, no threat, no danger, no need to defend. Studies on domestic cats reveal that these soft eye interactions are part of early bonding between kittens and their mother. It's how they learn, "I'm safe here." And here's where it gets even more powerful. When your cat slow blinks at you, they're reusing that same instinct. But now, you're the one they're directing it toward. Think about that for a second. Out of every living being in their world, you've been placed in a role that was once reserved for their mother. That's not just familiarity, that's emotional imprinting. And it's ancient. It comes from generations of survival, trust, and learned safety. So the next time your cat blinks at you, remember, you're not just a person in their environment, you're part of their foundation. Have you ever noticed your cat acting completely different around other people? Maybe they avoid eye contact, stay alert, or don't blink at all. Most people think, my cat is just shy. But here's what's actually happening. Cats are selective with vulnerability. They don't slow blink at strangers. They don't offer it to every person who walks into your home. Because slow blinking requires trust. Animal behavior research shows that cats reserve affiliative signals, like slow blinking, for individuals they've categorized as safe and predictable. Which means when your cat blinks at you, it's not a habit, it's a choice. Think about that for a second. They've observed you, studied your movements, learned your patterns, and decided you're someone they can let their guard down around. That's not something you can force. It's something you earn over time. And here's the deeper implication. To your cat, you're not just the human who feeds them. You're someone they feel emotionally secure with. And in a world that constantly triggers their instincts to stay alert, that kind of safety is everything. Have you ever thought about what happens when your cat closes their eyes, even for a second? They lose visual awareness. They give up control of their surroundings. Most people never think twice about it, but here's what's actually happening. Your cat is choosing vulnerability. In the wild, even a brief lapse in awareness can be dangerous. Predators, rivals, sudden movements, it all matters. Which means closing their eyes in front of you isn't neutral. It's a risk. And yet they do it. Slowly, gently, repeatedly. Think about that for a second. They're saying, I trust you not to hurt me, even when I can't see you. And this is what most owners never realize. Trust for a cat isn't loud. It's not dramatic. It doesn't announce itself. It shows up in moments like this. Quiet, subtle, easy to overlook, but incredibly meaningful. Remember earlier when I said if your cat stares and then suddenly walks away, it means something deeper? This is what I was talking about. Because when a cat doesn't feel safe enough to blink, they disengage instead. They leave the interaction. So when your cat stays, looks at you, and slowly closes their eyes, they're choosing connection over caution. And that choice says everything. Have you ever noticed your cat blinking less or not at all? Most people assume it's just a mood change or that the cat is being distant. But here's what's actually happening. A sudden absence of slow blinking can signal stress, discomfort, or emotional withdrawal. Behavioral studies on cats show that reduced affiliative signals like blinking, rubbing, or relaxed eye contact often correlate with increased anxiety or environmental change, which means your cat might be telling you something is off. Think about that for a second. The silence isn't nothing. It's communication. Maybe something in their environment changed, a new smell, a new routine, a new tension they can't process. Or maybe they're not feeling as safe as they used to. This is where most owners get it wrong. They ignore the absence of behavior instead of noticing it. But awareness is everything. Because the sooner you notice the change, the sooner you can restore that sense of safety. So if your cat stops blinking at you, don't ignore it. Pay attention. So when your cat blinks slowly while looking at you, do you actually know what that means? It's not just sleepiness, it's not just calm. It's your cat choosing to trust you in a way that goes against their natural instincts. That's not a simple gesture. That's vulnerability. That's connection. That's your cat saying without words, I feel safe with you. And that slow blink? It was never small to them. And it shouldn't be small to you either.